Shalom everybody, welcome to a new video on the Torah's insight on this week's Parashat Toldot. We are going to share a few insights on this week's Torah reading from the teachings of Rabbeinu Yosef Haim, Rabbi Yosef from Baghdad, Iraq, the great Sephardic sage, rabbi, Kabbalist, from his Sefer Aderet Eliyahu, and share a few of his insights, Bezrat Hashem, and bring from his teachings insights that will benefit us in our modern time, our modern days. Rabbeinu Yosef Chaim starts his commentary on the Pasuk on Bereshit, chapter 25, verse 19. Genesis, chapter 25, verse 19 says the following. I'll read and then I'll explain a little bit. It says the following: Be'ele Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham. And these are the offspring of Yitzhak, the son of Abraham. Rabbi Yosef Haim is asking, what's going on here? Why is the pasuk bringing this? Why the Torah has to tell us Yitzhak ben Abraham? We know this already, that Isaac is the son of Abraham. Now, Rabbi Yosef Haim says the following. If you remember, Rashi explains that the scoffers of that generation said that perhaps Yitzhak was not the son of Abraham, but the son of Abimelech. Abimelech, the king of Gerar of the Philistine. And Rashi brings an explanation, and that's why he says that Abraham begot Isaac to show that Isaac was the son of Abraham. He says that physically Isaac looked like Abraham. There's a lot of mefarshim explanation that the rabbis bring to show that Yitzhak was the son of Abraham Abinu. And there is people like in those days, even in this generation, that take the Torah and they laugh and they say, look at this. This is not true. This is all benoni, bloli, things that are not of any benefit. And they laugh and they say all these things. So the same way, the Chachamim explained that that's what was happening in the days of Abraham Abinu. People laughing, look at this person, he says that he speaks with God. What is this? He's a fool. Look, we have temples and gods and idols and all these things, and this person says that his God is invisible. There were people like this in those days. So Rabbeinu Yosef Haim brings an explanation from this pasuk to prove now from the children of Yitzhak Abinu, from Yitzhak, that there's a secret to show and to prove that Yitzhak was the son of Abraham. It says the following. I will read his words. It says the following: the Gematria, the numerical value of the name Yaakov, Jacob, when written with the letter Bav, is the following. So we have Yud is 10, Ain 70, Kof is 100, Bav is 6, and the Bet is 2. Will give us 188 if we add the numerical value. Plus, if you add 5, because we have 5 letters for the whole name, 5 letters, and we have then the value of 193. We're doing the Gematria. You know that according to the Chamim, the Kabbalah, when you have 2 words in Hebrew, and even though the words might look different, but if you do the Gematria, and the letters, these words, have the same numerical value, then we say that energetically speaking, these words are related. So now when you do the Gematria for the name Yaakov with the Vav, we have the total value plus 5. For each letter, we have 193. Now, you know that Yaakov was the son of Yitzhak. But Yitzhak had also another son, Esau. And if we do the Gematria of Esau, we have the letter Ain, which is 70, Shin, which is 300, and the Vav, which is 6. We have a total of 376 plus 3, which is the total of letters in the name Esau, will give us 379. Now, if you add 379 plus 193 for the name of Yaakov, we have a total of 572. Remember this, 572. Now, Rabbi Yosef Haim says that this number is equal to the numerical value of the expression Abraham hu holid Yitzhak, that Abraham begot Isaac. If you do the Gematria of all those letters, will give you 572. And he says, the name Abraham, you have the numerical value is 248. The word who is 12, Olid is 55, and Yitzhak, Yitzhak is 238. Total 553 plus 18, which is the total of the letter, plus 1 ima kolel. For the total, we have a total of 572. Meaning that when you do the Gematria for the children of Yitzhak, Esau and Yaakov, you do the Gematria, you have the numerical value of the total is the same Gematria of the expression that says in Hebrew, Abraham hu holid Yitzhak, that Abraham, he begot Yitzhak. Rabbi Yosef Haim says that the remez in the names was that Abraham is the father of Yitzhak, and not as the scoffers of that generation who used to say that his father was Abimelech, Hasbe Shalom, God forbid. Now we can understand that the phrase Ve'ele Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham, Abraham holid et Yitzhak, had a hidden remez that from the names of the children of Yitzhak, we see that Abraham was the father of Yitzhak. This is amazing. This is like going deep into the Torah. From the names of the children of Yitzhak Avinu, the Gematria tells us that it proves one more time that Yitzhak was the son of Abraham. This is a very, very excellent insight and going deep into the Torah. Now, it's very interesting because Rabbi Yosef Haim also tells us why is that Yaakov, was named Yaakov. Why? What's going on? Well, the Torah says they call him Yaakov because they were twins, Esau and Yaakov, the children of Yitzhak and Rivka. And it says, the Torah says that, well, when Esau came out first, and then look, the brother was holding the heel of Esau, and that's why they call him Yaakov, because it comes from the Hebrew word Ekef. Ekef means heel, and that's why, because he was holding the heel of his brother. Well, that's what the Torah says. But Rabbi Yosef Haim brings a deeper explanation into that pasuk. Okay, we know the simple meaning. I just explained it to you right now. But now let's look deeper to see what Rabbi Yosef Haim explains of the name of Jacob, Yaakov Avinu. He says the following. Another explanation is that, because he explains also why Esau was called Esau, he says that another explanation is that Esau was given that name because he was born he had hair like a baby who was several years old, and that's why Esau means completed with regard to his hair, because we know that Esau was hairy, and that's why he got his name, not because of any action that he took, but from his physical appearance. And Yaakov was given his name because of what he was doing, holding the heel of his brother. That's what the Torah says. Thus, Vayikra Shemo Yaakov could mean as if he called himself Yaakov because of what he was doing when he was born. And from this we got two insights. How is that a person is named in this world? One, because it's according to the appearance of the person. Esau, the Torah says that was hairy, a lot of hair in his body. Therefore, they call him Esau, meaning someone who is complete, like an adult person, a lot of hair in his body. That's why they call him Esau. He didn't do anything to earn that name. He simply was, because of his appearance, they call him Esau. But Yaakov Avinu, he got his name because an action that he was doing when he was born. What was that action? He was holding the heel of his brother. So that's why Ben Ish Chai says, it's like he's naming himself because of his action. He's named himself. Now, this is very interesting because if you look deeper, basically this is how applied to every human being. Either people might give you a name because the way you look, he looks handsome, beautiful, or some type of physical, people might call a certain name, or because of your actions. According to the way you behave in this world, people will give you a name. If the person is generous, people might give the person a name if the person is generous. If the person is rich, someone might say, but look, he's rich. Now they call him this name. Yeah, but to become rich, you have to do actions. So one more time, you go to the category of something that you did. So if you go deeper into all of these categories, you will see that they go either to an action that you did or a physical appearance. That's why a person gets name in this world, says Rabbi Yosef Chaim. Now, he brings another explanation, like I said at the beginning, why Yaakov Avinu was named Yaakov, why he was called Jacob. He says the following, going deeper into the pasuk that he held on the heel of his brother. But let's look deeper. He says, we can wonder why he was given the name Yaakov. If you tell me that his name was because he was holding the heel, and that's why in the name Yaakov you have the word Ekev, right? Well, then why don't you call him Ekev? Instead of Yaakov, just call him Ekev, heel. But his name is not Ekev, he's not called heel, he's called Yaakov. Rabbi Yosef Haim says, since he was holding, he says, we can wonder why he was given the name Yaakov and not Ekev, since that was what he was holding when he was born, the heel of his brother. In other words, why was the letter Yud added to his name, right? Let's now I get inspired. Let's write the name Yaakov. So you see what we're talking about. So he says that he was holding the heel of his brother. In Hebrew, the heel is Ekev, but his name is Yaakov. And the Ben Ish Chai is asking, why is that you should call him Ekev? You should call him heel and not 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 Yaakov. So we have here that in Hebrew you have Yaakov, Yud Ain Kuf Bet, and the word Ekev, that means heel, and his name is Yaakov. Why, if you tell me that his name is because he was holding the heel, just call him heel, Ekev. But there is a Yud that was added to his name. Why the Yud was added to his name? Rabbi Yosef Haim says the following. I'll explain. I'll read from him. He says this. I'll read. He says the following. The letter Yud. He's asking, why did they add the letter Yud? The letter Yud is written in full Yud Vav Dalet. Meaning the letter Yud or Yod is written like this. So this letter, if you write it in Hebrew, it's written like this. Right? Yud Vav Dalet. And it has the same letters for the word Yado. Yado is the same letters like this. Yado means his hand. Therefore, the name Yaakov is a remes that Yado Yaakov, his hand was on the heel, says Rabbi Yosef Haim. So if you look at the letter Yud again one more time, it's written Yud Baf Dalet. And that's exactly like the expression in Hebrew, Yado. Meaning, so you can flip the letters so it looks like mixed. Put it here. The same letters. So Yod or Yud, if you rearrange the letters, is Yud Dalet Vav. Yado, meaning his hand. And therefore, the name Yaakov is telling us, in the name is hidden an expression that says that he was holding, the hand of Yaakov was on the heel of his brother Esau. So in his name is hidden actually the action that he was doing. He was holding with his hand the heel of his brother. This is remes that Rabbi Yosef Chaim is bringing in this parashat. There are a lot of insights here I will just share one more of his insights. Also, Rabbi Yosef Haim explains that Esav knew that Yitzhak knew that Esav was not like Yaakov. He knew that Esav was not into spiritual things. Esav was more into physicality. He was hunting, going after power, women. There's a whole story in the Torah, getting married here and there. Esav was all over the place on physical things. But in front of his father, he behaved in a way that his father, that he was in front of his father, he behaved like he was someone spiritual. And Rabbi Yosef Haim says something very, very interesting, that when he was in front of his father, he didn't want to show that he was a Rasha. So he behaved like he was interested in spiritual things. And there's a midrash that says that in front of Yitzhak, he acted like a big tzaddik. And he used to ask questions like, how do we tithe, meaning giving the 10%, with salt, regarding salt and straw? Since and then of course the commentary says you don't give tithe on salt and straw, meaning he was asking question on things that you are not obligated to do anything, meaning his question was basically to show like he was trying to go to so they might think that he was interested into spiritual things, but in reality he didn't care at all about Torah or spirituality or working on his neshama. He was more into physicality. If you read the Torah, you see that Esau was a hunter. He shows that he was a very strong person, even physically. He was like all hairy and red. They call him red. That's why they call him also Edom, red. And also he says that he married multiple women. He says that two women from Canaan, and then he noticed that Yitzhak and Rivka, his parents, were upset because he took women that were not from the progeny of the family. So then, to make them happy or to kind of get to get basically more approval, then he took another wife, one of the daughters of the family of Ishmael. Well, he was doing a lot of things, and the Chachamim says that basically he was just pretending that he had interest into spiritual things, but in reality that was not the case. From here, we can derive a few insights. First of all, you sadly find people like that in religion. There are people who pretend to be spiritual. There are people who pretend to be into religious or spiritual things or to get closer to God, but they are pretending like Esau. And then they might ask questions. So if someone gets near them, they start pretending like they're talking about Torah or spirituality. But it's like for you to see, oh wow, look, wow, Tzaddik Gadol. But in reality, after the person goes away, he goes back to do something else or whatever. Or his mind is into something else. The advice is clearly not to be like this, not to be like Esau. We have to be authentic. We have to be genuine. We have to really and honestly work on our hearts to purify the heart, get closer to the Almighty, try to be kind towards every human being, sincerely and honestly get closer to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, work and improve on ourselves, get into the habit of prayer. Sometimes it's not easy because you have to fight with physicality. Esau was not fighting physicality; he was all physical. He was not fighting physically. He was very deep into physical things and away from spirituality. He pretended. We don't want to pretend. We don't want to be fake in our religion, in our spirituality. We want to be authentic, like Yaakov. The neshama of Yaakov Avinu was pure, soft, pure neshama with a lot of light, because he sincerely wanted to get closer to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. He wanted to honor his parents. That's why we find that Yitzhak and Rivka especially said, look, go back to our family, find a wife from our family, a good girl. Don't marry from these people. Marry only within our family. This is our tradition. This is our belief. Respect and hold strong to our traditions. And Yaakov obeyed. He was already a man, and he obeyed his parents. And that's why he says that his mother loved him very much. So in this sense, the Torah clearly tells us that there are hidden secrets and remes from the Pesukim that tells us that Yaakov Abino was into learning, studying. He used to go to Shem and Ever and to ask questions about life, about creation, about Kadosh Baruch Hu, about how to get closer to the Almighty. Esau, he was into another world. Esau was into hunting and getting power. He was getting closer to Nimrod. There says that he was the one who killed Nimrod. So we have two opposites here. Someone who was very spiritual, and another son that was very into non-spiritual things. We want to be authentic. We want to be like Yaakov Avinu. B'ezrat Hashem, I'm working on a book, on a commentary on the Parashat Shavua, and I have beautiful Hidushim on what I'm just sharing with you right now. I will not share them because I want strictly and specifically talk about Rabbi Yosef Chaim's commentary on the Torah. So B'ezrat Hashem, may God give me the sechut, the merit, that maybe by next year I'll be able to publish a book with the commentaries on this parashat and the whole Torah that I'm working on in B'ezrat Hashem. And I have beautiful insights from this parashat as well. But as I said, I'll hold myself. I don't want to share these things. I want to keep just sharing what Rabbi Yosef Haim wrote. This is the purpose. I want to share the Torah of Rabbi Yosef Haim with a few insights here and there, but I want to share his Torah with whoever wants to get closer to Sephardic spirituality, Jewish spirituality, the Chachamim from Iraq, the Chachamim, Mekubalim, who bring a lot of insights from the gems and from the wisdom of the Torah. B'ezrat Hashem, Siyata Dishmaya, sending you blessings from the holy city of Jerusalem. May the Almighty bless you. Shabbat Shalom. All the good things. May the Almighty bless you. May He bless us all. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.